As a woman in medicine, the term invisible work usually evokes highly charged emotions. And that's because it reflects all the unseen labor that we perform in our home outside of our clinic hours. But in this podcast episode, I'm going to have you reclaim the term invisible work because it's my favorite business ritual. It is the time when you are in deep focus, no makeup, no appointments, no meetings. You are sharpening your axe. You see, as an employed physician, you didn't realize that systems needed to be built around efficiency and optimization. It was easy to put off your tasks and just fit them in when available. But as a solo entrepreneur, that plan does not work. So come with me on this episode 173, Good Invisible Work, the power of an unseen workday. And I'm going to show you what it means to slow down, prepare, and make your business run smoother than ever. Welcome to The Catalyst Way, the podcast for women clinicians ready to clear the chaos and create space to flourish. I'm Dr. Laura Salyer, a former burned-out family practice doctor turned mentor, author, and professional calendar whisperer. I help women in medicine reclaim time, trust their intuition, and build practices that actually fit their lives. Each week, you'll get practical tools, creative strategies, and tiny shifts that help you color outside the lines and paint a work-life masterpiece of authentic, aligned joy. Today's story might be relatable to you if you've also made that journey from employed physician, nurse practitioner, PA into an entrepreneurship role. When I started 9 years ago, I quickly had my calendar all figured out. I thought I had the method. I would see patients and then I kept a list of all the things that I needed to create or tidy up. Things like that link was broken in the email, I need to refresh it and find the correct URL, to I need to build a template around that type of visit so I can easily populate the chart next time, to I need to figure out how to do active campaign, all those things that make an entrepreneur what they are. I did it in the most inefficient way possible, but I thought I was being efficient. I was keeping a list right at my desk. And whenever I had free time, I would look at the top of the list and then I'd scan the list and see all the things that I didn't feel like doing at the time, or maybe I thought they would take too long. And eventually I picked maybe one thing off the list, like send in the bill for your rent, right? Something so easy and minor. And it just kept being inefficient. I would see a patient and then in between I would find something on that list, sifting through. And as you can imagine, many of those tasks were not fun and they just would get buried because eventually more urgent tasks would come forward like, oh my gosh, I have to figure out how to make a super bill in my EMR, or I have to figure out how to fax, controlled substances to this particular pharmacy. I need to call them and get their fax number. You get the idea. And that list became this unorganized mess. And I was approaching it completely wrong. I was approaching it like an employed physician who usually has the support of other staff. You could talk to a nurse or medical assistant to help you with some of these logistics, the IT tech team. And when you're a solo entrepreneur, starting off by yourself, you are it. You are the team. And I learned quite quickly the power of an invisible workday. The best way to describe an invisible workday is to fast forward to modern time. And my invisible workday looks like this: no makeup, in pajamas, headphones on, everything is muted. My phone is in another room. I have no social media open on my desktop. I do not allow notifications like sounds, bings, or pop-ups to distract me. And I am totally in the zone. It's usually quiet, kids are at school, and I have no patients, no meetings, no active projects that require live time. Everything is asynchronous. And this is beautiful because I know all of this time is protected. I consider this an invisible workday because it doesn't look like I'm doing anything. I'm staring at a screen and I'm typing. And it started years ago when my kids would ask, "What are you doing?" Because I would go for hours click-clacking on my keyboard as, if they're in the other room and they came to say hi after school, they wondered, "Did you do anything all day? Did you work, Mom?" And I'd say, "Yeah, I'm doing invisible work." And it's not immediately obvious that it's productive, but it reaps huge benefits when it comes into action. This is inspired by the saying from Abraham Lincoln: if I had 6 hours to chop down a tree, I'd spend the first 4 hours sharpening my axe. This is why the invisible workday is crucial to your success. If you are not scheduling invisible workdays and you are trying to just fit in all of these little tasks, you're going to feel frazzled, rushed, and often these tasks won't be the most efficiently created. You might miss something. You've been distracted. Studies show that when you multitask, each time you turn your focus to something else, even if it's a minor eye glance to look at the pop-up on your window or your Apple Watch message that came in, you lose the equivalent of one IQ point. So after a whole day of being distracted like this, you're not getting a lot done. Invisible workdays are where your power lies to build templates, tweak workflows, and finally finish those behind the scenes tasks that are looming in the background. It's like closing down all those tabs that have been open in your brain all month, and it feels so good when you finish an invisible workday. But the key to doing invisible work is to schedule it. Don't wait for it to happen. Don't wait for patients to suddenly no show or nobody scheduled appointments on this day. I guess I'll use it as an invisible workday. No, you need to protect your calendar and actually schedule it. Let's review the 4 steps to make your invisible day productive, powerful, and efficient. Step 1 is, you guessed it, schedule your invisible workday. Protect it, name it, announce it, tell your staff or anybody you're working with that you're unavailable or you're only available for significant emergencies. Because your internal boundaries of honoring that workday is really important. When you schedule it, stick to it like it is sacred. This is your private time. This is your auto in the zone, flow centered day to complete as many of these behind the scenes tasks that will help the rest of your days in the month be more vital and efficient. Here's some tips on how to schedule your invisible workday and pick a time that fits you. Look at your energy cadence. Do you start the week with lots of great energy and you're more productivity driven? Maybe you can complete charts faster, see the patient visits, you feel enlivened when you're doing your day-to-day clinic activities. Well, then maybe your invisible workday should be reserved to the end of the week when it's just easier to do some of these run-of-the-mill tasks that don't take a lot of bandwidth in your brain. Or look at your schedule and see, are there common days of the week or days of the month that your patients are generally scheduling lighter? Or maybe you find that right before a holiday, it's pretty vacant. You might consider making your invisible workday then. Or if you are a creature of routine, maybe you schedule it always on the 4th Thursday of every month and it's never fails. So your staff knows to anticipate this is your powerful invisible workday. Step 2, in my opinion, is the most important. It's keep a running list. We know with flow neuroscience that you need to separate planning and execution. Your brain does not do both at the same time very well at all, which means if you wake up on your invisible workday and you're excited that nobody's going to bother you, but you're looking all over the place, you're searching your emails for that one thing you needed to answer, or you're looking in your Google documents for something you thought you were going to edit, or you're searching through your EMR hoping it'll trigger your memory on what was that thing I was going to do, you are going to waste the whole power of that invisible day. So whatever works for you, whether it's old school paper at your desk, whether it's Post-it notes that can be written on the fly, whether it's in your notes app on your phone, it doesn't matter, but you need to keep a running list. And the night before your invisible workday, you need to look at that list and do a simple prioritization. What is urgent? What is needed? What is critical? What is easy to do? You want to do the most urgent, critical, and easy things first because that will give you that dopamine. You start to clear these off your list. The minute you wake up, you're ready to go and you have a clear path. Our brain works best when we have a clear path and we know exactly what we're going to do. So don't forget to plan, keep that running list and keep it fresh, keep it somewhere easily accessible so that when you're ready for your invisible workday, you are going to make the most of it. You can always take it up another notch. Your list doesn't have to be one huge garbage dump of random tasks. If you would like to separate them according to business growth, that's awesome. In the Catalyst Studio, we have 5 modules that all follow a typical growth of a business. We have Imagine, which is about envisioning your values, your mission, your purpose, creating your patient avatar, what you are doing on this earth, your skills, how to fold in a signature method. We have Find, the module that helps us with the tech tools, the right people, your stack of apps that you need to do what you need to do. We talk about CRMs, we talk about EHRs and Zapier, all the wonderful things that help us keep those wheels going. The third module is streamlining workflows. So in this module, we talk about cleaning up things, reviewing our intake, how's our discovery call, what's the onboarding process, how is our charting. We're streamlining, refining. And so in this list, it might be things like, how do I create that SOP for my virtual assistant, the one I've been trying to make time for? Those are the times to execute on that. In the fourth module of the Catalyst Studio, we amplify our reach. And so this is where we talk about group visits, membership levels, hiring, firing, all of those things. So maybe you have a list on these amplify topics. You're planning your next newsletter. You're deciding, do you want to start a quiz? Do you want to organize your social media better? Do you want to batch your content? And finally, in our Catalyst Studio, we have the Parade module, which is about personal and professional leveling up. Do you want to have a TED Talk? Are you interested in writing a book? Do you want certain continuing education in a new topic that you're fascinated with? Maybe create a list around all of those. However you do it, it's important because these lists will drive your success. This is the perfect time to share what our Catalyst said inside our Studio Time Mastermind in regarding to planning their invisible workday. Here's what some of our Catalysts are working on right now. Updating their EMR templates, revisiting supplement protocols, and adjusting their SOPs, tidying their automations using Zapier or ActiveCampaign or ConvertKit, cleaning up their Google Drive, reviewing CME and seeing if they need to sign up for more or watch those webinars that they never did when they agreed to sign up for their CME, refreshing their bios, their emails, their Canva templates, reviewing financial dashboards and membership metrics, and decluttering their office or digital workspace. Those are great things to have on your list. Before we get to step 3, let's take a little break. Quick pause. If you're loving this podcast and secretly dreaming about building a functional or integrative practice that doesn't burn you out, you're my person. Catalyst Studio is the 12-month mentorship for women clinicians who want to build or scale a membership-style practice. We mix practical business strategy with creativity and flow so that you can build a thriving practice that actually fits your life. Come join us. It is the mentorship I wish I had had. You'll find all the information at drlaurasalyer.com/catalyst. Okay, step 3 is set the mood. This should not feel like punishment. So remember, our brains are going to pay attention to the words we use, to the mood we set, and the intention. So make it ritualistic. Wear your comfy clothes. Wear your favoriteest, most fleecy pajamas, your fluffiest socks, permission to not do your hair, and just be as comfortable as you need. Permission to start your day differently. If you'd like to go work out and get out some of that energy, go for it. If you'd like to wake up slowly and meditate, brew your own tea, beautiful. But make it a ritual that enlivens you, that gets excitement into your body, and makes it so that you look forward to these invisible work days. You could put a do not disturb sign on your door. Surround yourself with your favorite playlist on Spotify and remind yourself this is not necessarily about hustling, but about just relaxing into flow. Because when you have all those elements in place, you know what you're going to tackle that day. Flow is your friend. You don't have to white knuckle grip and be productive for productivity's sake. It will come a lot easier when you've had all the elements ready for you and you're in your zone with the perfect ambiance surrounding you. I'd also invite you to set up auto replies that you're not available. Now, I know this can feel hard, and I'd like to press gently on that limiting belief that you need to be reachable even by your kids. I get it. But you could put your kids' phone numbers in the emergency bypass on your phone, and you don't need to answer their texts about wondering if they can schedule their haircut on Thursday at 3 o'clock. You don't need to be doing any air traffic control right now. It's okay to be unreachable. So put an auto reply in for your email, your electronic medical records, and turn off your phone. Don't wear your Apple Watch. Be invisible. The final step, step 4, is measuring the magic. If you're like me, a woman in medicine, we're probably a recovering people pleaser, type A perfectionistic mind. It's very common that we do not even stop to look at all the things we've accomplished. It's just part of our personality. We do the best we can. We do a good job. We strive for excellence, and then we move on. And we need to stop that. We need to measure what we're doing, because without it, it's easy to get sucked down that entrepreneurship rabbit hole that I'm doing nothing, that I just sat there and stared at a screen and I really have nothing to show for it. Invisible work is very invisible even at the end of the day. So you need to make that invisible work visible by reflecting. What did I clear up today that is going to make next week easier? How did it feel for me to work on my business instead of inside it? Is that a comfortable role for me? Did I identify things that I'd much rather outsource to somebody else next time? That might be something to keep on a list. Add this to my VA tasks, right? And what did I not complete that I want to add to my next invisible workday list? Do I need to schedule one beforehand? Maybe once a month isn't enough. Maybe you need once a week. And that will help you keep that cadence and that flow going. So you're communicating with yourself now as well as your future self. What are some tasks that I need to prioritize for the next invisible workday? How can I make that more efficient? How can I make that more enjoyable? And keep that list fresh so that you're always adding and reorganizing that priority. As we're at the close, here's your catalyst question to reflect on after this episode about sharpening your axe, about having an invisible workday. When can you schedule your next invisible workday? And what is going to be the first thing on that list? Let it bubble up organically, what comes to your mind. And in closing, the truth is nobody's going to applaud you for this invisible workday. You need to come with resources deep within and give yourself the credit it deserves. No one's going to see you sharpening your axe unless you join the Catalyst Studio, where we applaud each other, we sharpen each other's axes, and we also make progress happen a lot sooner. I love this zone of genius that I embody, and I'm grateful for my ability to easily tap in and immediately form connected, trusted, safe experiences for our catalysts. You know, one of the best compliments I've ever received is somebody saying, I have a feeling if I ever murdered somebody and I told you where the body was, you would still forgive me and unconditionally hold me in positive regard. And I said, wow, that's actually a really sweet compliment. In the Catalyst Studio, we are excellent at this high-level pattern recognition for each other so we can build systems that help us succeed and succeed faster than we would do this alone. This creates flow and we can leverage this for results. So if you're interested in learning about the Catalyst Studio, we are running a special in the month of December for $500 off our enrollment. We would love for you to join. Book a brainstorming session and I will be happy to share the next steps. Thank you for listening. Share this episode with a friend or colleague, and let's keep sharpening our axe. Invisible workdays are amazing, and go get it. Get in those pajamas and embrace having this time for you. I can't wait to hear what you do with your invisible work, and keep coloring outside the lines. Thanks for listening to The Catalyst Way, where we clear the chaos and create space to flourish in medicine and life. If today's episode lit a spark in you, your next step is to go take the Catalyst Archetype quiz. It's fun, free, and freakishly accurate. Go to drlaurasalyer.com/create. In less than 5 minutes, you'll uncover your burnout risk, your creative strengths, and work rhythms that energize you. Because it's not about finding a perfect plan, but rather flowing with the one that fits you.